and good evening, everyone. I'm Senator Steve Chan. It's very nice to be here today. I'm very happy to see all of you. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm not Italian. But you know what? I lived in Bensonhurst all my life, 50 years of it. And I grew up with the like names of Venuto and Conigliaro, Neri, Latona, Lupino, and people like that. And so, you know, who loves dogs around here? Anybody have dogs?
And Spatola.
And Spatola. Okay. But anyway, who has a dog? Okay. My daughter has a dog, but who ends up walking him? I do, right? So when I take this dog out, Arlo, a lot of you seen him on my Facebook page, little Arlo, and he's a nasty little guy, right? He meets his besties around the block and they don't say a word to each other. They don't bark, they don't wail, they don't do anything. They just wag their tails and they move on. They don't talk. I'm like, how are you guys communicating? Then they see a big dog and they say, okay, Moosey, let's go beat up this big dog, and they attack the big dog, right? And then somewhere around the corner, they'll go, okay, Moosey, you go pee-pee over there and I'll go pee-pee over here, okay? And they just do it. But how do they communicate? The reason why I'm telling you this is because I know two old men, an Italian guy and a Chinese guy. Neither one of them speak a word of English, but you know what? They communicate. The Italian guy gives the Chinese guy a tomato, and the Chinese guy gives the Italian guy some string beans, right? And you know what, folks? That's called friendship, and that's what exists in our neighborhood. Somehow they communicate and they are friends, and that's what it's all about. I had a partner. I'm not going to name names. He was Italian. Everybody knows I'm a retired cop, right? Midnight to 8 for 6 years, and for 5 of those years I had an Italian partner. His name is Robbie. One day we're riding in a car and he goes, hey Steve, you know, I found this great Honda Civic. It's a used car. Hey, I said, that's great. You gonna buy it? He goes, yeah. Hey, can you lend me $2 grand for a down payment? I look at him like, Rob, listen, I love you. I'll lend you the $2 grand, but you should be ashamed of yourself. He says, oh, why? I said, because you're born in this country, a white Christian male, and you're borrowing money from the Chinaman immigrant. That's what I said to him. I love the guy. I gave him the $2 grand. He paid me back. But you know what? I'm very glad I said that to him because he took that to heart. And he started importing things from various countries around the world. He started his own flea market stand, and today he's a multi-millionaire because of what I said to him. And I'm very glad that I was able to make that difference in his life. And I'm still in touch with him, and he's doing great. So I'm very glad to stand together with our Italian community. I've lived here on Bay Ridge Avenue and 16th Avenue for the better half of 35 years. And I'm very glad to see that, let's talk about right now our mayor. We have a mayor that hates Italians. He hates Columbus. He hates the Chinese. He hates the whites. He hates the rich. He hates the homeowners. He hates the Jews. Does this guy like anybody? Does this guy, he hates the gifted and talented. Does he like excellence in schools? He hates the specialized high schools. What? Does he hate Nobel Prize winners? Right? So does he like anybody at all? And you know what? I am standing up with our Italian community to protect our heritage, because everybody, everyone has a right to exert their heritage, and Columbus is a part of us. It's a part of the Italians. And talk about balls, right? When I speak, I have little boundaries, and you know, I have no problem. I think a lot of people saw my speech in Albany. I stood up on the Senate floor. I spoke on behalf of the Italians, and I spoke against Mamdani. I grilled him in the public hearings. I grilled our school's chancellor, and yeah, I don't hold boundaries because I don't take money from special interest groups. So I don't owe anybody anything. And I want to thank you for continuing to trust myself, Assemblyman Chang, and Assemblyman Lester Chang, and Assemblyman Alec Brook-Krasny. So time is short. I'm going to pass the mic now. Thank you very much. Thanks again. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Buon pomeriggio, signore e signori. Like they say in Italy these days, buonanotte, tutti. They don't say buon pomeriggio anymore. I don't know if you know that. But Fran, thank you very much for inviting me, the whole committee. Lester, thank you for your initiative, even though as the Navy intelligence officer, you know how to keep secrets. Anyway, I'm here. I'm here as an Italian because I'm an Italian by the nature of my immigration process. I spent in Italy for more than a year. Anybody in the room spend more time in Italy? Yeah? Okay, all right. I spent my year in Tarvajanica. I don't know, you just, all Italians here today. So I would speak Italian, but at the end of my year in Italy, I was able to keep up with the conversation. Now I just understand what people say. Ladies and gentlemen, this country built on a very incredible idea, but very simple. We're all proud to be Americans, right? But at the same time, without any controversy, we're proud of our own heritage. That's how this country has become the strongest, most beautiful country in the world. Well, beautiful, maybe absolutely. Now, when we speak about Italian heritage, by the way, I have 2 dogs. Can I speak twice longer? Speaking of Italian heritage, of course, you know, first that comes to mind is opera, fashion, architecture, culture, even politics. But really, for the American Italians, American Italian heritage is Columbus. Columbus. That's who he is. This is a wonderful day for the Italian community. Lester, thank you again. It's time to have a Columbus statue here. Because we live in a time where sometimes it's hard for you to find an American flag in Brooklyn now. Right? You see an American flag, you know political affiliation of that person. So thank you all very much, and it's just very, very close to my heart. I'm in Italy every year, sometimes twice a year, because Italy is my second motherland. I escaped those communists about 40 years ago, so I spent about a year in Italy, in Tarvajanica, close to Pomezia, Anzio, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. Of course, having a vacation in Italy is the best possible thing. Whether you go to the lakes, or you go to Tuscany, you go to Lazio, or even if you go to Puglia or Sicily. Do we have any Calabrians here? Yes. Okay. You can go to Calabria and have a great time too. Because it's a great idea. Because I feel like, you know, I was an Italian in my previous life, or if not, then I'm going to become an Italian in my next life. Because I spent a year being a fisherman in Italy. A fisherman. I was pulling nets. My landlord was the owner of the boat, so he invited me on the 3rd day in Italy, he invited me to become a fisherman. It was an incredible time, one of the best times in my life. And by the way, this guy, on the 2nd month, slashed my rent in half. True story. 750 millas to 375 millas. You know, it was mil at that time, right? It was no euro. Where else something like this can happen? If it's not a south in Italy. North Italy is also good. So, because it's a great idea, because I feel like I'm an Italian, I'm going to pledge my own personal $500 to this project right now. And then, Bobby called me or text me just to remind me that I said that tonight. All right?
Thank you very, very much.